Hey guys, it's Wingy here and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. Now today I'm doing part 3 of the British comedy shows that you need to check out. And as it is part 3, part 1 and 2 is on my channel, so if you haven't seen them, then go and check them out. But for today I'm going to be taking a look at 3 other British comedy shows that you need to see if you haven't seen them already, because I say so and what I say goes. Or not, it's up to you. So first of all, I'm going to take you guys back to the 1990s with a program called Goodnight Sweetheart. This show stars Nicholas Lyndhurst, who you may recognise as Rodney from Only Fools and Horses, and a few other people that you may or may not recognise. Now, Goodnight Sweetheart is a weird one because it isn't necessarily laugh out loud, laugh a minute comedy. It does have hilarious moments in it, yes, but it isn't consistently hilarious. What makes this show so good is its premise. The show follows this TV electrician from the 90s called Gary Sparrow, and he accidentally stumbles across a time portal that takes him back to the 1940s, so he keeps going back and forth between the modern day and the 90s and World War II. And he starts building a life for himself in the 1940s, so not only does he have his wife in the modern day, but he also is starting to build his own relationships in the past. Now, neither wife know about what the hell is going on, obviously, as in the 1940s his modern day wife wasn't born then. The only person that really knows what's going on besides Gary is his best friend Ron, who is in the 90s, who helps him out by printing him like fake documents and fake money and all that sort of stuff. And one of the funniest things about the show is actually Ron himself. As Gary's life keeps getting better and better in both the past and the modern day, Ron's just keeps falling apart, and it's partly to do with Gary. So seeing their relationship evolve over the course of the program is a really funny thing to watch. And it also throws in some very interesting moral dilemmas. Is it bigamy that he has 2 wives even though one is in a different time period to the other? Which wife would he pick over the other one? It's a really interesting program, but there is an issue with it. In total, there are 6 series that they did of Goodnight Sweetheart, but after series 3, they recast both of the main female characters in either time period. Now, the modern day wife, I'm not too bothered about the recasting, but the original character from the 1940s, Phoebe, originally played by Dervla Kirwan, she was brilliant in the role, but they recast her, and I don't know why. It could be because she wanted to leave or whatever reason. But either way, when they replaced Dervla Kirwan, I do feel like I don't like Phoebe as much as I did beforehand. The new actress is fine, she does a serviceable job, but that's all it is, serviceable. Dervla Kirwan really brought Phoebe to life, and the ending to this show is quite something. It's surprisingly emotional. But either way, even though this isn't necessarily a laugh out loud comedy like I said before, it does have a lot of funny moments, and it is a really interesting show to watch. So if you happen to find it, I think it's on Gold or UK TV, one of those, on Catch-Up, and I found the complete series dead cheap in HMV, so if you find it, pick it up. And next up we are going to talk about another Graham Linehan show. Now, I've spoken about one of his shows before, Father Ted, but this time I'm going to talk about the IT Crowd. This is one of the most brilliant, weird, crazy, outlandish shows and random things that you will ever see, but it is hilarious. I can't take that away from it. The IT Crowd basically follows the IT department in a big multi-million corporation. The 3 main characters are all completely different from one another, and they bounce off of each other really well. But what's funny about it is the situations they get themselves into. It is the most random show you have ever seen. Honestly, if I explained to you some of the things that they get up to, you probably wouldn't believe me. The comedy genius of Graham Linehan absolutely shines in this show. The way that the events unfold and the way that the characters react to the situations is just perfect. It's almost like they're completely oblivious as to what the hell is actually happening. However, in the last episode, they do actually have a penny drop moment when they realise things aren't actually quite normal around here, are they? There's a lot of faces in this show that you will probably recognise as well, and I don't just mean the main characters. There's a lot of guest stars or recurring stars that you may or may not have seen in other programmes. You might not know them by name, but they're those sort of people that, oh, I recognise them, yeah. Noel Fielding, who is for some reason on the Great British Bake Off at the minute, he's in this show every now and again, and he's completely random, as everyone else is. Then the big boss of the company, first off played by Chris Morris, is really good, and then in a situation that you have to see for yourself, he leaves the show and is replaced by his son Douglas, played by Matt Berry, who is easily my favourite character in the entire show. Douglas Renham is one of the best comedy characters I think I've ever seen in recent memory. He's so over the top and so random, but just so brilliantly played by Matt Berry. Subtlety is not something that you will find in the IT Crowd, particularly with Matt Berry's character. But the chemistry between the main 3, Moss, Roy and Jen, is just brilliant. And again, if you haven't seen it, just check it out. You can find it on 4OD or something like that. And you can also find my last suggestion on 4OD as well, which which is the Inbetweeners. I imagine lots of people would have seen the Inbetweeners, much like the IT crowd as well. But if you haven't seen it, it's basically 4 teenage lads going through high school and sort of growing up together, I guess. Now, if you went to a British high school, you've probably been in the Inbetweeners at some point. And I don't mean literally been in the show, just been in similar situations that they have encountered. You're bound to know someone who is like a Will or is like a Jay. I know I do in my friendship group. The thing that makes the Inbetweeners so good isn't necessarily that it's funny, because it is, don't get me wrong, but what really sells it is how real it feels. I was literally around the same age as the main characters when this show came out, maybe a bit younger, but I found it incredibly relatable. The way that they write these characters and the dialogue and the speech and the way they act around each other, it's exactly how British teenage boys act, and that's what really, really sells it. And sure, it's like crazy versions of normal situations that teenagers go through, but it's the fact it is normal situations that teenagers go through, like buying alcohol when you're underage, going to the pub for the first time, trying to chat up girls, going on your first lad's holiday together. These are all things that we are bound to do growing up as teenagers, and it is put beautifully into this show. The writers of the show clearly used past experiences themselves for this show. I guarantee that if you watch it or you have already seen it, there's at least something in that show where you think, oh, that happened to me, that did. Or unless you're like 14 and you have seen it but nothing like that has happened to you yet, it will happen to you. It's sort of like a rite of passage. There's not too much of the Inbetweeners, there's only 3 series and there are 2 movies as well, but it does what I think is the best thing it could have done. It leaves you wanting more. It's not one of those shows that just goes on for too long and people are just like, oh, why is this on? And again, chemistry is an important thing in comedy shows. The main 4 have a great chemistry together. Again, similar to the IT crowd, because they are all so different from one another, they actually fit together quite well. Also, Greg Davis as the head teacher, Mr. Gilbert, the best character in the show probably. And they are 3 more of my suggestions. So if you've seen any of these shows, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. Or if you haven't, let me know if you're going to check them out, or if you do check them out and then you come back and tell me what you think of them. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it. Subscribe if you want to see more random crap on my channel, and if you do any of that, I would love you forever. But until next time guys, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye.